Primate is a visceral horror film directed by Johannes Roberts. 47 meters down, Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. Released in early 2026, the movie transforms a seemingly idyllic vacation into relentless carnage when a family's adopted chimpanzee succumbs to rabies and turns into a deadly predator. Johnny Sequoia leads as Lucy Pinborough, a college student whose return home sets the narrative in motion. Her performance carries the film's emotional weight as the innocuous backdrop collapses into terror. Jessica Alexander's Hannah and Victoria Wyant's Kate fill out the group of friends whose decisions fuel both horror and frustration. Troy Kotsur appears as Adam Pinborough, Lucy's deaf father, a presence that adds an unusual dynamic to the survival story. While none of the human characters are deeply developed, many fall into genre-typical archetypes, the cast delivers just enough to sustain tension on a lean 88-minute runtime. Roberts directs Primate with unflinching purpose, staging its horror as a straightforward descent into primal violence. Visually, the film avoids gloss and embraces practical detail. The violence is physical, shockingly immediate, and often uncomfortably close. The Hawaiian locale, initially serene and inviting, becomes an oppressive cage, emphasizing how quickly safety can become illusion. The creature at the center, Ben the chimp, is realized with a mix of effects that lean into physicality rather than cheap scares. His presence feels believable and consistently threatening, whether stalking from shadows or exploding into sudden brutality. Narratively, Primate is intentionally lean, almost to a fault. The setup is almost purely functional. Lucy and friends decide to relax at a cliffside Hawaiian home. Ben gets bitten by a rabid animal, and once infected, he transforms from beloved pet to unstoppable menace. This simplicity is part of the film's design. It doesn't aspire to thematic depth or symbolic weight, choosing instead to be direct about its horror roots. Yet this also limits emotional resonance. Many characters exist solely as bodies for the chaos, lacking backstory or meaningful arcs. Some critics note that the lack of character complexity is paired with familiar horror tropes and occasional story decisions that strain believability, elements that serve spectacle over character. Where the film could have improved is where Primate could have benefited from sharper thematic focus, perhaps exploring the flawed idea of treating wild animals as domesticated companions, or deepening the emotional core around Ben's relationships with his owners. A more layered antagonist approach, with a psychological or symbolic angle rather than pure physical threat, might also have elevated the story from creature feature to something more haunting and memorable. Critically, Primate has been well received for what it is, a lean, effective horror thriller. It currently holds a strong aggregate score, with many reviews noting its pacing, tension, and practical effects as standouts for the genre. For general audiences, the film plays as B-movie entertainment turned up to 11, visceral, unpretentious, and often brutal. It's the kind of film that demands visceral engagement rather than intellectual analysis. Some viewers find it gleefully over the top. Others see its simplicity as both strength and limitation. Film rating 6.5 out of 10. An unapologetic horror experience that delivers tension and gore effectively, but stops short of deeper narrative ambition. Final thoughts. Primate 2026 doesn't reinvent horror. It embraces it. With a terrifying central creature and a narrow focus on survival, it channels old-school monster mayhem for modern audiences. Its charm lies in doing exactly what it promises: visceral thrills, relentless danger, and a killer ape that won't let you forget it. Like and subscribe. Because when your pet suddenly decides your dinner, evolution becomes your worst enemy.
You want me, baby, let me know all in this. You want me, baby, show